Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribers. And remember, at 1000, in the year 2157, humanity had stretched its fingers into the stars, colonizing distant planets and moons, their ships a common sight flickering between the cold celestial bodies of the outer systems. However, Earth remained a jewel too precious and too dangerous for most alien species to engage with directly, due to its chaotic political landscape and fiercely protective space fleets. On a mild spring evening, under the canopy of a rejuvenated Earth, where cities blended seamlessly with rewilded forests, an unprecedented event occurred. A small spacecraft of unknown origin breached the perimeter of Earth's defense grid. It made a stealthy landing in a clearing nestled within the Great Appalachian Forest, the ship's design unlike anything logged by human or allied alien technologies. Inside the spacecraft, a trio of Bacal, a species known for their mercantile prowess and neutral stance in cosmic affairs, scrambled to prepare for their unexpected visit. Their mission was simple: collect samples of Earth's unique flora for their trade empires back home. What they hadn't anticipated was encountering any Earth species, let alone a human, given the strict protocols against unlicensed planetary visits. As the Bacal disembarked, they came face to face with Maya, a 16-year-old girl who had been camping alone, celebrating her recent acceptance into the prestigious Earth Space Academy. Mia, with her wild, curly hair and a face smeared with campfire ash, stood frozen, her digital camera hanging loosely around her neck. She was as astonished to see the alien visitors as they were to see her. In a panic, realizing the violation of several interstellar accords, the leader of the Bacal, Captain Terrell, made a snap decision that would haunt him. He raised his plasma. In the cramped, sterile room of a Galactic Council hearing chamber, Captain Terrell sat, his scales bristling under the harsh lights. The air was thick with tension, the hum of various alien dialects melding into a cacophony of concern and curiosity. The chamber, a vast dome etched with the histories of 1,000 species, now bore witness to a drama that could reshape the fabric of interspecies diplomacy. Across from Terrell, Earth's delegation, comprising diplomats and military officials, presented a formidable front. Their lead negotiator, General Ada Mwangi, a woman with a reputation as unyielding as the titanium alloys of Earth's space armada, fixed her gaze on him. Her voice was calm, but carried an edge sharp enough to slice through the diplomatic niceties. "Captain Terrell, do you acknowledge that your actions on Earth violated the Sanctity of Worlds Act and endangered the life of a human civilian?" she asked, her question ringing out like a shot in the quiet of the chamber. Terrell's voice trembled as he responded, his translator device chirping softly. "We acknowledge the breach. It was not our intent to harm. We were there for mere observation and collection, unaware of human presence. It was an error in judgment, one that we profoundly regret." The response did little to soothe the agitated assembly. The delegates from various worlds whispered among themselves, their features a mosaic of colors and emotions. Some expressed sympathy for Terrell's plight, while others, particularly those from planets with historical grievances against human colonial expanses, harbored a schadenfreude-tinted satisfaction. Outside the chamber, news feeds buzzed with updates. Across galaxies, citizens tuned in, their screens flickering with images of Mia, now symbolically standing at the heart of a universal debate. Was Earth still a rogue planet, or had it become a victim of extraterrestrial recklessness? Meanwhile, Mia's recovery was miraculous, spurred by Earth's advanced medical technologies and her own resilient spirit. As she regained strength, her story became a beacon for human rights advocates, and a rallying cry for stricter control over alien interventions on Earth. Back in the hearing room, as the council deliberated, Terrell's thoughts drifted to Mia. He had watched the recordings of her recuperation, her determination in physical therapy, and her interviews filled with hope and forgiveness. She did not cry for vengeance. She asked for understanding and peace. This young human, with her unyielded spirit, had unwittingly ensnared his conscience. Mia's room was a quiet sanctuary from the turmoil swirling outside her hospital walls. As she sat upright, gazing through the transparent alumina window pane at the bustling city below. Her thoughts wandered to the beings who had changed her life irrevocably. Her physical wounds had healed, leaving only faint scars, but the incident had instilled in her a new purpose. She resolved to use her experience to bridge the gap between humans and aliens, pushing for coexistence rather than retaliation. On the other side of the galaxy, in the labyrinthine corridors of the Galactic Council's headquarters, negotiations had reached a fever pitch. The Council had proposed a groundbreaking agreement, the Interspecies Protection Accord. Under this accord, Earth would be granted a provisional seat at the Council, allowing it to participate in decisions that affected planetary security and interstellar law. General Mwangi spearheaded the Earth delegation's efforts, working tirelessly to shape the accord into a shield that would guard Earth against future violations. Her counterpart, Verix, navigated the political intricacies of the Council, striving to mend the fractured trust between Earth and the Bacal. In a strategic move, Terrell reached out to Mia through a secure communication line, asking to meet her in person. He hoped that by connecting with her, he could demonstrate to the galaxy the potential for reconciliation. Mia, intrigued and cautiously optimistic, agreed to the meeting, which would be held under the strictest security to prevent any potential backlash. The day of the meeting, Mia entered a specially prepared room within the Council's space station. The room was designed to mimic an Earth-like environment, complete with artificial gravity and a panoramic view of the stars. Terrell entered shortly after, his movements hesitant, his usual confidence replaced by a palpable anxiety. "Mia," Terrell began, his voice soft, "I come before you not only to express my regret, but to seek your guidance. How can we as different species learn from this and prevent future conflicts?" Mia listened intently, her eyes reflecting not just the starlight but a deep, unwavering resolve. "We start by understanding each other," she replied, "by sharing our stories and our lives, not just our technologies and resources. We need to see beyond our differences." Their conversation flowed for hours, touching on topics from cultural exchange to educational partnerships. Unbeknownst to them, their dialogue was being recorded and would later be broadcast as a beacon of potential unity across the cosmos. Meanwhile, in shadowed corners of the Council's halls, not all were pleased with the burgeoning alliance. A clandestine group of radical isolationists, comprising several species that had suffered under human expansion, began to plot. They saw the Accord and Mia's forgiveness as a threat to their vision of a galaxy segmented by clear and impermeable boundaries. As Mia and Terrell concluded their meeting with a symbolic exchange of gifts, a piece of Earth's malachite for Terrell and a crafted star map from Bacal for Mia, the isolationists mobilized. Their plan was simple yet devastating: to sabotage the upcoming vote on the Interspecies Protection Accord. The galaxy stood at a precipice, the actions of a few poised to influence the many. As alliances formed in light, the Galactic Council chamber buzzed with heightened activity as the day of the crucial vote on the Interspecies Protection Accord approached. Representatives from different worlds gathered, their conversations a mosaic of languages and gestures, reflecting the diversity of the cosmos. The stakes were high, and the air was thick with anticipation and the subtle undertones of intrigue. In the midst of this bustling arena, General Mwangi and Verix coordinated their final strategies. They knew that the success of the Accord hinged not just on the legalities and policies it proposed, but on the collective emotional and political will of the Council members. Each representative was being swayed by not just the arguments presented, but also the undercurrents of their home planet's interests and the galactic public opinion. Meanwhile, Mia had become an emblematic figure of peace and unity. Her recovery and subsequent advocacy for interspecies understanding had garnered significant attention. As the vote neared, she prepared to address the Council, her speech crafted to highlight the commonalities that bound all sentient beings, emphasizing collaboration over conflict. On the eve of the vote, Terrell visited Mia. They shared a quiet moment, reflecting on the paths that had brought them here. Terrell confessed, "Whatever the outcome tomorrow, I believe we have started something vital, A conversation that, I hope, will continue long after we are gone." Mia nodded, her determination clear. "Change begins with dialogue," she affirmed, "and grows with trust. We've planted seeds, Terrell. It's up to all of us to nurture them." As the council convened, the isolationists executed their plan. They unleashed a sophisticated cyber attack aimed at the council's communication systems, intending to delay the vote and sow confusion. Alerts blared as systems flickered, plunging the chamber into a brief chaos. Security protocols snapped into action, and technicians scrambled to counter the disruptions. Amidst this turmoil, Mia stood to speak, her voice steady even as the technical team fought to restore stability. Her words, transmitted through the patchy systems, reached the assembly, her call for unity piercing through the temporary digital fog. "Let us choose a future defined by our highest hopes, not our deepest fears," she urged. As systems stabilized and order was restored, the council proceeded with the vote, the earlier attack underscoring the necessity of the accord. One by one, the representatives cast their votes, the results displayed on the large holoscreens above the chamber floor. The final tally was a narrow victory for the accord. Cheers erupted from some sections of the chamber, while murmurs of discontent echoed from others. The decision was made, but it was clear that the path forward would be fraught with challenges. In the aftermath, as representatives dispersed, the isolationists regrouped, their resolve hardened by the defeat. They retreated into the shadows, planning their next moves, unwilling to concede their vision of a segmented galaxy. Mia and Terrell, surrounded by their teams, watched the reactions of the crowd. They understood that the real work would begin now. Implementing the accord, healing the divisions, and building in the wake of the accord's narrow passage, the Galactic Council initiated the creation of the Interspecies Liaison Office, with Mia appointed as one of its key human representatives. Her role was to facilitate the integration of Earth into the Council's operations and ensure the Accord's stipulations were honored by all. Her unique perspective as a survivor and peacemaker provided her with the moral authority to navigate this complex landscape. Meanwhile, Terrell returned to Bakal, where he was met with a mixed reception. While many hailed him as a visionary who had averted a potential war with Earth, others viewed him with suspicion, questioning his motives and the wisdom of his actions. Determined to support the fragile peace, Terrell embarked on a tour of his planet, speaking about his experiences, promoting the benefits of the Accord, and advocating for a more inclusive understanding of the galaxy's diverse inhabitants. On Earth, General Mwangi oversaw the establishment of the first Earth Defense Embassy on the Council's space station. The embassy served as both a diplomatic hub and a symbol of Earth's newfound status as a Council member. It was equipped with state-of-the-art communication and defense technologies, ensuring that Earth maintained its sovereignty while contributing to galactic affairs. The isolationists, however, had not disappeared. Their defeat in the Council had only driven their activities underground. They orchestrated a series of covert operations, aiming to undermine the Accord and reignite hostilities. Their actions included sabotage of diplomatic missions, dissemination of anti-Accord propaganda, and even assassination attempts on key figures supporting the integration efforts. As tension simmered, Mia found herself at the center of a pivotal incident. During a diplomatic summit on a neutral space station, a bomb exploded, causing minor injuries but significant fear. The attack was quickly traced back to the isolationists. Mia's calm and measured response in the aftermath was broadcast across the galaxy, showcasing her resilience and reinforcing her message of peace and cooperation. This act of violence proved to be a turning point for public opinion. Galvanized by Mia's bravery and the clear dangers posed by the isolationists, more species within the Council began to actively support the Accord. They implemented tighter security measures and increased intelligence sharing, which slowly but surely began to isolate and weaken the isolationist factions. As the first anniversary of the Accord approached, the Council organized a celebration to commemorate its achievements and to honor those who had worked tirelessly to uphold its principles. Mia and Terrell were both present, their earlier private conversations having evolved into a public partnership that symbolized the Accord's success. During the celebration, Mia delivered a speech that would be remembered as a defining moment in interspecies relations. Today we stand together, not as separate species, but as denizens of the galaxy, united in our diversity and our common goals. The challenges we face are significant, but so is our resolve to overcome them. Let us continue to build on the foundations we have laid, forging a future that values peace over conflict, understanding over ignorance. As the assembly applauded, the stars above seemed to echo her sentiments, their light shining down on a galaxy fundamentally changed by the courage and vision of those willing to cross the divides of fear and mistrust. The accord did not solve all problems, nor did it erase the deep